Hey folks, happy Tuesday to you. We continue our FUMCCV devotional following our August prayer calendar. Our scripture today is Luke chapter 4, starting at verse 14. So I invite you to turn there. As you do so, let me just explain. I'm dressed quite formally today. I'm about to preside at the funeral service for Sue Bennett, wonderful woman of faith, longtime member of our congregation who passed last week. So we can be praying for the Bennett family. Also forgot to apologize. I didn't do video devotionals for the last couple of days last week, and just wanted to explain we had a sort of medical crisis in our family with my son. He spent a couple of days in the hospital. Everything's great. He's doing well now, but there just wasn't space to make it onto video and do that as we were in the hospital for a couple days. So anyways, away we go. Luke chapter 4 verse 14. I'm going to read 14 to 19. We are thinking this week about becoming the voice of Christ. How do we become the voice of Christ for the world? Well, one of the things we first need to do is we need to identify what the voice of Christ is, and here is one of the key pieces of that. Luke chapter 4 verse 14. Then Jesus, filled with the power of the Spirit, returned to Galilee, and a report about him spread through all the surrounding country. He began to teach in their synagogues and was praised by everyone. When he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up, he went to the synagogue on the Sabbath day, as was his custom. He stood up to read, and the scroll of the prophet Isaiah was given to him. He unrolled the scroll and found the place where it was written, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he has anointed me to bring good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim release to the captives and recovery of sight to the blind, to let the oppressed go free, and to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor." So this Sunday, I'm going to be preaching on this. And one of the points that we need to understand about the voice of Christ is that one use of the voice of Christ was a voice of justice. So it wasn't the only one. But if the voice of Christ is going to come forth from us, one of the forms that it's going to take is that of justice. How can we be a voice for those who are oppressed? How can we be a voice for those who are left out, who are downtrodden? How can we be a voice of equality and justice for all in our world? That is one of the voices of Christ that lies within us. And you can see in the scripture what's telling to me, twice it says this, that he is filled with the presence of the Lord, or the power of the Lord. Or the Spirit is upon me. Sometimes we think that we have to do this work. And like, what do I know about justice? I'm not some kind of advocate. I'm not on the front lines. No. We have to allow God to fill us, and then that voice will come forth. That voice comes from the Spirit, being filled with the Spirit of God. And so perhaps our prayer today is that we might open ourselves so that God might fill us, so that when the time comes that we are in a situation and the voice of Christ is needed to bring justice to some situation, that voice would naturally come forth from our faithful living, what God has already done in us, that then God might work through us. Let us make that our prayer for this day. God bless. Have a great day.